Hi, I'm Meteorologist Pete Mangione with this afternoon update. We're, of course, tracking the storm, which is on the way tomorrow. Winter storm warning in effect for our entire viewing area, with the exception of Block Island, where you have a winter weather advisory. Let's get right to it. This is a very complicated forecast, so we'll kind of take our time going through this. Snow impacts, we'll see a lot of those, especially for tomorrow morning's commute. Both commutes will be messy, but especially tomorrow morning where that snow could be coming down very hard. Wind impacts, we will see some gusts of 30 to 45 miles an hour, especially strong from Little Compton, the south coast, all the way through Cape Cod. Poor visibility will be the result of some of these winds combining with the snow. I'm not looking at widespread power outages right now. That is something we'll have to watch. If the winds end up a little stronger than anticipated, obviously we change that part of the forecast. I am concerned about sleet and especially freezing rain. I do see an ice threat on the roads, especially for places like South County, North and South Kingstown, Newport County, Newport Jamestown, where we'll see, I think, some rain falling at times over a surface which may be just below freezing, and that's when you can get some really bad situations, and often that can be more hazardous than snow. So here's a timeline. 8 p.m. to midnight, the first flakes start to fly. So if you're at a Super Bowl party, you should be okay getting back. You may have a few slick spots, but nothing impassable. From midnight to 7 o'clock in the morning, the snow starts to come down at moderate to heavy levels. Not a great time to be on the roads. 7 a.m. to 1 p.m., that snow starts to mix with sleet, especially at the coast. Even some freezing rain is possible. 1 p.m. to 7 p.m., we go back over to snow, although the coast may kind of be a holdover with some of that sleet and rain until pretty deep in the afternoon. But I do see pretty much everybody going back to snow by late on Monday evening. And then 7 p.m. to 1 a.m., just some light snow. At this point, the bulk of the accumulation should be over with. So on our Eyewitness News Threat Tracker, we give you the red high category for tomorrow. And I do want to point this out. Everybody's going to start out as snow overnight through early tomorrow morning. So even at the coast, we'll see several inches on the ground already. Travel will not be good. There'll be several inches already in the ground, all the way from Smithfield down to Newport. So we're going to give you the red light. It also will be coming down in heavy bursts throughout the morning. In fact, we can show you that on our Futurecast, going hour by hour here. Notice here comes the snow, 2:30 in the morning. The blues really start to get dark by 6 o'clock in the morning. Notice those heavy patches of blue right over Providence, 7:30 in the morning. And when you see the signature, this is a sign that we could see snow falling at rates of 2, even 3 inches an hour. Some really heavy bursts. And this is a typical thing sometimes when you're about to change over to the sleet or the rain, which will start to be occurring at the coast. Now, by 10 in the morning, the coast, you're starting to sleet, even some freezing rain possible. Northern Rhode Island, I wouldn't be surprised if you're still snowing, especially up through North Foster, even Cumberland, North Attleboro. Providence, you're a big question mark on this. I do see periods of sleet, but the question is, how long does this keep up? If it switches back to snow quickly, then we end up with a whole lot of snow in Providence. But, as many of the models are hinting, if it keeps sleeting for a good part of the morning and afternoon, then we have more limited accumulation. We're leaning a little bit more towards the limited accumulations, but still more data to look at. And look what happens by deep into the afternoon. This is 4 o'clock. You start to see the purples and the blues show back up. This is a sign that we do change back over to snow. So several additional inches are possible during the evening commute. So we want to be mindful of that as well. And then still some lingering snow bands, even 8, 9 p.m. as the system clears on out of here. So it'll last a little while, not as long as a blizzard. And here's our accumulation forecast. I do want to point out a few things. Fairly confident that we get a lot of snow here in northern Rhode Island, again, North Foster, up through portions of Cumberland, and even into northern Bristol County, out into, say, North Attleboro. You may be in this jackpot. Providence, you're in the area of uncertainty, unfortunately. I have you in 6 to 9. But don't be surprised if the models trend warmer, then we push this 3 to 6 inch line up towards Providence. However, we still have more data to look at. Maybe the storm comes in a little bit cooler and Providence gets closer to the snow jackpot. That's a possibility, especially if that snow sticks around a little bit longer as opposed to the sleet. And then the coast here, I have you as a messy 3 to 6 inches. Again, it may not be snow accumulations that are a big problem, but you mix in some sleet and freezing rain. You could have some very slick roads all the way from here in New Bedford, Newport, Jamestown, North and South Kingstown, as rain may be falling on top of a surface which is either at or just below freezing. In fact, speaking of freezing temperatures, that's what we're going to see tonight. So the ground very cold right now. This is at 8 o'clock this evening. We go through tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock a.m., Providence 31, Smithfield 29. This is when everybody is seeing snow, and that will stick quickly. And then by noontime, notice the computer says, okay, temperature is just above freezing. However, because the ground is so cold, I wouldn't be surprised if some of those roads, especially untreated surfaces, are still below freezing, and that's when we get our threat of the freezing rain. So kind of a tough time of it on the roads tomorrow. And then tomorrow evening, temperatures really start to crash, and that's when even more widespread black ice could be possible in addition to the snow. So this is something you really want to stay tuned to. Unfortunately, not a lot of warm-up on Tuesday, so we may have a few issues, especially in northern Rhode Island, of finding where to put the snow on top of the piles we already have. Stay tuned. TJ is in a little bit later. I'm going to have more updates throughout the afternoon. This is a very complicated storm, so those totals I just showed you, they are not set in stone. We need to keep looking at more data to make the final call on this forecast, and we will get through this and enjoy the big game. Have a good day.